Big news broke last week as the deal between Brightline and Richard Branson's Virgin Group is no more. The deal with having Virgin's minority stake in America's first privatized higher speed rail system for a branding deal to rename Brightline to Virgin Trains USA started back in late 2018, and I reported that in a video which was at the time the highest viewed on the channel. But as of July 29th this year and made public this August, that partnership has fizzed away as quickly as it was poured out. There are some theories as to why it happened, which we'll discuss, as well as why in the long term Brightline will be better off for it. Or translated into BuzzFeed speak, the deal is over, and that's a good thing. Brightline is the most important infrastructure company in this century of American history for a variety of reasons. Mainly it showcases an alternative not just to transportation, but for construction, funding, and operating it. In our lifetime, we have never had a private company put this much effort and ingenuity into building this system, and it looks fantastic. The Florida project will eventually connect Miami to Orlando sooner than we think, as construction to close the gap to the Orlando International Airport Station is still moving ahead, despite the Apart from connecting two major regions together, Brightline is also moving ahead on intra-city commuter rail, a reality on South Florida's US 1 corridor, a heavily trafficked, dangerous, and neglected area in terms of alternative transportation. It's very similar to Tri-Rail on the I-95 corridor, but knowing Brightline, their service will be far more professional and timely to connect South Floridian residents and visitors to places like Aventura and Boca Raton, on top of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. Even outside of Florida, Brightline moved ahead in acquiring Express West, a similar private project that will eventually connect Las Vegas to Los Angeles with high-speed rail. The other aspect of what makes Brightline so vitally important is its influence on the rest of the country for modern passenger rail projects and policies. Just look at the Texas Central Rail project, which started after Brightline, and you can see the similarities. Both privately funded and aiming to connect two major cities with high-speed rail, albeit Texas is using 200+ mile-an-hour Japanese Shinkansens instead of Brightline's diesel Siemens locomotives. There's a lot happening in the world of passenger trains, despite current events, and if you want to keep up with all of it, make sure you've subscribed to the American Rail Club and click the bell icon and select all so you can see the news at high speed when it hits the station. Now that we established Brightline's importance, let's look at what happened with the Virgin Group. In a report released to the Florida Development Finance Corporation, this was stated, quote, "We will no longer use the Virgin brand following our parent's termination of its licensing agreement with Virgin Enterprise Limited. We will change our name to Brightline Trains LLC following the expiration of the applicable notice period for our name changes under the senior loan agreement. Virgin has no remaining affiliation with us, or parent, or its affiliate, whether through equity ownership or otherwise. In layman's terms, I don't even know who you are. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, adios Virgin." So how was the deal killed? Did Brightline send in a legion of Chads? Was there some sort of Virgin killing sweater tech that Brightline had up its sleeve non-sleeves? Here's the more plausible theory. Richard Branson just didn't pay up. See, Virgin promised to invest a minority stake in Brightline in exchange for rebranding the project to Virgin Trains USA. Brightline obliged. The Miami Central station was renamed Virgin Miami Central in a somewhat foreshadowing way of things to come.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Brightline changed their company name to Virgin Trains USA LLC. And much to our chagrin, it was also foretold that the Brightline motif on the train sets we grew to love would end sometime this 2020, along with the rest of our lives the way things have been happening this year. But in the Forbes article I archived here,
I read the article in Forbes.
Branson emailed Forbes in January 2020 that he had not yet invested in Brightline, but wanted to. Quote, We have a long-term brand license and plan to invest in the company too, he said, without elaborating. It's like being invited to a party, which will be in your name and honor. They'll even sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow too, just as long as you bring the extra napkins. But you never do, and you eat everyone's cake and drink all their beer. Apart from that, you're also having problems with your own life. Big problems. Your rail franchise in the UK ended in December after some BS disqualification of your partner company by the UK's DOT equivalent.
Man, this some old bullshit.
Okay, not your fault. Fair enough. Your airline, the crown jewel of your enterprise, is filing for bankruptcy. Well, Chapter 15 technically. You've invested, or maybe plan to invest, millions into what will be the equivalent of Theranos for the transportation industry. You can learn more about that here. You have some friends / neighbors that have done, to put it very mildly, unsavory things. And on top of that, your investors are getting antsy for you to personally go to space already. Maybe a one-way trip at this rate. It's fair to say that Virgin Group invested in gyms, cruise lines, hotels, and airlines in the 2020 travel industry is losing its V card to Chan. But I'm sure you already like this video, so go ahead and click that thumbs up. And I can already hear it.
Demetrius, you were so supportive about Virgin and Branson in the first place. Why do you have to be such a Dick and Jane about it now?
To which my reply is, I support the success of this project in any way possible for the reasons mentioned earlier. It's pivotal that Brightline is a success in the US because if it isn't, we'll be right back to having obscure little meetings circle jerking about how great it would be if the US had high-speed trains, just like Japan and Europe, for the remainder of our generation. And please, sir, sign my petition, which my local politician will throw in his trash bin on his flight to Little St. James Island. And believe me, all of that is cute and all when we're in college, but we're getting older, and the big boys don't play like that. There are 3 reasons why this decoupling is better off for Brightline in the end. 1. The Virgin brand is a relative has-been in the US. It's 1999, and you're at the Virgin Megastore in downtown Disney, and you're looking for that Spice Girls album signed on by Virgin Records, as you get a call on your brand new Virgin mobile phone that you've been upgraded to first class on your Virgin Atlantic flight. Radical, dude. Except it's not 1999. It's 2020.
Somebody put me back in the fridge.
Virgin has little to no presence in the US like it does elsewhere in the world. Banking on the fact that tourists from elsewhere will recognize the Virgin brand and all its baggage on a train service in Miami may not be the best strategy if the vast majority of your passengers will be in-state residents. Especially given the response from our UK viewers on the Virgin rebranding was more sour than sweet, I grew a little more keen to the Virgin name. Reason number 2, no need to rebrand. When I was working with what was at the time All Aboard Florida and looking forward to their rebranding in November of 2015, I was all excited and giddy because I was one of the few in the know of the Brightline branding months before the general public. I also knew about the amount of time, toil, and treasure the company had put into coming up with not just the name, but the entire design, look, colors, and feel of what would be a bright future in transportation. And this was years of work. If only you could have seen the stacks and gigabytes of files and the deliberation on the Brightline theme in the office. Even down to the smell of the stations, with that Florida citrus smell, which is of course far superior to California oranges. Stay out of Florida. Keywords like smart were put into the forefront, as you made a smart decision today, not to participate in the 5 o'clock Derby de Florida Sur on I-95, you classy person you. Virgin's rebellious marketing, while albeit fun and exciting, doesn't quite mesh with Brightline's more smoothed-out rebelliousness against the pavement machine. I refer to you all to Michael's video on Minovation Studios titled Virgin Trains USA or Virgin Brightline.
I think the Brightline name is the best branding for a Floridian train. It is something you guys should be very proud of, and I'm going to explain specifically why, just right now, why Brightline is a very good name to keep.
Number 3. The need for a focused visionary. Don't get me wrong, Richard Branson does bring great press to anything, most of the time. However, apart from his company getting Dempsey rolled by the he's got his eggs in too many baskets. The Hyperloop, multiple airlines, spaceships, cruise ships, Some of these can very well coexist and thrive with Brightline like Virgin voyages, and no one knows for sure how the end of this partnership will affect Brightline making a station in the port for the convenience of incoming and outgoing passengers on Virgin voyages. Richard Branson never intended to or was never going to run Brightline even with the partnership. It was a minority stake deal after all. But his presence is indeed large, and a distraction in some sense for an extremely pivotal project in this country. And I find it an extreme conflict of interest and personally a referendum on general intelligence when someone is invested in both a fantastic project with long-term gains and a literal pipe dream scam. Not cool, dude. In contrast, majority investor Wes Edens of Fortress Investment Group is more of a silent professional on behalf of Brightline.
I read the article in Forbes.
He's put in $100 million of his own cash into the project, along with Fortress. To quote Mr. Edens, "Drive from Miami to Orlando with your family, drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. It's a bad experience. Great fortunes are generally made by solving the most obvious problems. The lack of passenger travel by train in this country is a travesty." Edens says, "It's a gigantic opportunity." Wes Edens understands the need for modern passenger rail transportation in this country, and he's put in a lot of what will most likely be a good bet. Brightline has an amazing ensemble of people in its team already, and perfect timing to get up and rolling once this disease depression starts to fade away in the next couple of years, right when the trains start rolling to Orlando. Fortress Investments has already been acquired by SoftBank back in 2017, and Masayoshi Son has a fantastic track record as an investor. All in all, the future for Brightline is looking to be a stride in the sunshine. Thank you all for writing. I am gonna miss using those Virgin versus Chad jokes in this context, but it'll be for the better. Let everyone know what you think about the Brightline Virgin split in the comments below. I do my best to reply to every comment made on the first week a video is posted. We'll keep you up to date on any further developments with Brightline and other rail projects in this country. Make sure you're subscribed to ARC so you don't miss the next train of good news and the major videos coming soon. See you on board next time.